when I look at if we talk about legacies, like let's use a basketball reference just on a quick one. Allen Iverson versus a Chauncey Billups. One has a chip, one doesn't. Who has a greater legacy? The man that.
Iverson. But I want to call Vardy a
chance to say, it's about to say that's a force of like you're gonna have to.
Like he's won the Golden Boot, right?
Yeah,
he's scored over 100 Prem goals.
But Chauncey Billups wasn't a scrub. He's a Hall of Famer.
I mean, but we know about the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's really a Hall of Very Good if we're keeping it real. But now Vardy's got more accolades than a.
If there was a Hall of Fame Premier League, then Vardy and Kane would probably both get in, to be honest.
I agree.
Yeah, that is poor, man.
Are you rolling? Babs, roll it.
Roll it where, brother? I'm a roll it where, brother?
Roll it up, Babs. Roll it up.
What are you talking? Roll what, brother?
Roll this
Tottenham pack, man.
Bro. Roll this fucking Tottenham pack. Topless, you there?
Look at Toby's here today.
What? In here. You know you can't run that shit when it's me here, bro.
Hey, size it.
You keep doing that. You keep doing that. Exactly.
Size it. It's even better. Yes.
With that energy.
Man said size it even better.
That's even better. Fucking hell. Fuck Toes, man.
I'm trying to talk on side, you know.
Toes is with tight.
Whenever I'm in
the
Silent. My fight card sniff. My fight card
I'm gonna tell you to sit in the corner with your fingers on lips, bro.
Say, what are we saying today, bro?
Let's get back to this Kane Vardy thing, though. Because I find that's quite an interesting discussion. I think, Kane's time at Spurs is justified if, like, he wins something, but if he doesn't, he kind of has a bit of a nearly man career.
Yeah, of course, because but that's the thing. You would only say that for a player that's operating at the highest level. Do you get what I mean? So for me, that in itself is indicative of what his legacy is. The legacy he's fighting for and vying for is on a different level than Jamie Vardy. So
I don't know about that.
If has Jamie Vardy ever been considered world class?
No, I think he is on a different level, but I think that speaks much more to what Jamie Vardy's achieved, or who Jamie Vardy is and his journey. That forms part of his legacy as well.
Of course it does, but your legacy is also defined by what the perception of your talent is during the course of your career. So if Kane is operating at a level where he's in the conversation of best strikers in the world, in a world where Aguero plays football, or Benzema plays football, or Lewandowski plays football, if that's the level that he's operating during his career, then by the time the legacy talk comes, we're gonna try and pitch his accolades against them, right? There's a very high percentage chance. Happen. Precisely, there's a very high percentage chance that his accolades don't speak for that, but his legacy will still speak volumes next to them, man, because of the fact that any achievements that he does have will also have the caveat of he did that at Tottenham Football Club, which gives him a couple bonuses in certain areas.
The thing is with that, while having the ability discussion, he won't be able to sit at the table with them.
Hello, brothers.
Also, when we speak about legacy and that or whatever, the only thing Shearer's known for is scoring the most goals. Nobody really fucks with him like that. So I'm saying if I'm talking about legacy and that. But nobody cares. Nobody cares. Why
does nobody care?
Because it's just he didn't win much. All it was just he won a Premier League and he scored the most goals. And people compare like Harry Kane to Shearer. So even if Harry Kane wins one and he scores the most goals, for me it's not enough.
So why would Vardy ever be higher than him when that's literally all he's done?
Because of the team Vardy started at. Do you know what I mean? How consistent he's been, where he's come from. I think when you combine all of those things together, especially with the Prem win from a team that's
a hell of a legacy.
It's a hell of a legacy.
He's got more Prem goals than DJ Drogba.
You see this legacy chat, yeah? It 100% is linked to the trophies that you win. All of this,
of course, it is.
All of this talk about
no one's denying
he's considered alongside Lewandowski and all of this. No one cares about any of that. No one cares about any of that. No one cares about any of that. When there's been bare strikers who have been rated highly, like Diego Forlan and all of these men that have like done bits for their clubs, if they don't have trophies, they don't sit at the table. Yeah. Jamie Vardy's legacy is bigger than Harry Kane's right now because he guided a Leicester City team to a title. And when he did so,
what does Kane have to do?
he broke records doing it. Right? He's part of the Premier League 100 club, so you can't even say, "Oh, he ain't even scored that many goals." He's clapped, and he
Harry
came
Kane
to
is
the
in the
Prem.
top 10.
He came to the Prem age 27. If Harry Kane goes down without any trophies to his name, his legacy cannot chat to Jamie Vardy. It can't.
Facts.
Okay.
Any major trophies?
Yeah,
major
trophies.
At
And the Carabao Cup. No one has a legacy because of Carabao Cup wins. It's Prems and Champions Leagues. Simple.
At what point? Okay, so at what point did I say that trophies didn't matter? Never. Not one time.
No, but you said they're on a different level and whatnot, but that's not true.
Because their ability level, they are on a different level.
It doesn't matter about ability level. We're talking about legacy.
But again, I said what I said. I didn't say his legacy is on a different level. I said his ability is on a different level.
Yeah, but
again, in order to understand the point I'm making, you have to factor in each point that I make. It's not this simplistic thing of, oh yeah, players that win a bunch of shit have a higher legacy than other players, because that's not entirely true either.
Yeah, but the thing is though, Vardy doesn't fall into that bracket though. Yeah, that's my thing. If Vardy was a one-hit wonder,
Harry Kane. I was speaking specifically about Harry Kane because my argument is,
and you can say this, but Jamie Vardy, like if you're talking, these men have been operating at the same time, yeah, the same period, yeah. In the past 3 seasons, who scored more goals in the league?
Jamie Vardy. He's played more games as well.
So like if you're talking about like ability levels and all of this, numbers wise, Jamie Vardy stacks up to the best. You can say, oh, has Jamie Vardy ever been considered world class? But why not? If he was doing all of this at a top team and not at Leicester, people would be calling him world class.
I wouldn't call him world class because I don't
be.
But I wouldn't. So I can only speak for myself. So
do you think Aubameyang's world class, or do you think Cavani's world class?
I think Cavani has been world class, more so than Aubameyang. Personally,
what's the difference between Cavani's overall game and Jamie Vardy's overall game? There's not that much difference.
Vardy, in fact. No, I think Cavani has a better hold-up play and has better decision making in getting other players involved over the course of his career. 100%. Nah,
that's a myth.
I haven't lied.
Outside of the box, Cavani's a complete myth.
Oh shit!
I've seen him over the course of his career, so boy.
But yeah, now keep So this talk of ability expectations, I want you to like elaborate on that a bit more because that's an interesting wrinkle that I'm trying to understand a bit better.
100%. It's like for me, Kane currently, people are looking at him as somebody it's disappointing that he hasn't won anything yet.
Yeah,
and that's more of a testament to his ability than the situation that he's been at, the managers, any of that stuff. Because you could drop Harry Kane doing this at any level of English football, and people will be like, "Rah, that's a special talent." I think if you drop him into any of the other teams in the Premier League, he starts. I don't think you can say the same about Jamie Vardy, personally.
Yeah. Okay, so I understand that. What's that got to do with the legacy of their playing careers, though?
Because the legacy of your playing career also considers what level you operated at during your playing career.
Okay, I'm gonna get.
There's guys like Matt Letizia, for example, right? Is listed as one of the best players in the Premier League history, right? But he doesn't have the accolades to boost him to those upper echelons. So he's always going to be that guy who had the ability, had the moments, but didn't have the silverware to propel him to that next level.
Agreed.
If Harry Kane can be in the conversations amongst the best strikers in world football, and all of the personal like milestones, all of that stuff, and we're basically going to look at his career and say, okay, cool. If he won one Premier League and a couple FA Cups, that's probably still a disappointment. He should have won more. That speaks so much to what his ability is that it sort of, if you cut out all the fluff, it's like, man, that guy's legacy is great, all things considered, even with him winning less than what he maybe was expected to.
Let me put it this way, yeah. Alan Shearer, won Premier League title in like 1995, and then he's got the most goals in the Premier League history. Yeah. Yet, with all of this, he still is considered below. I think most people would agree he's below Aguero. He's below Henry. He's below Wayne Rooney in terms of Premier League legacy, right? Despite him having all of these accolades, and the reason for that is because he didn't bag trophies. Do you get? So it doesn't.
Yeah, 100%
I'm saying all
get
of this stuff about Kane and his ability level and all of this. Yeah, it is irrelevant.
Is
Without
Kane a
trophies,
more or less talented overall footballer than Alan Shearer?
It does. I'm saying it does. That none of that matters, man. None of that matters.
Well, it does because you're being minimalistic and you're being a bit reductive in what you're pointing.
It's not minimalistic. In your Premier League all-time 11, is Alan Shearer there?
In mine personally, no, because his aesthetics and his style of play don't fit my footballing preference.
So then this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. If Alan Shearer is not there, Kane, right, for all your talk about his ability and this, that, and the other, he will never be there without titles, without trophies.
And that's though, to be fair.
Yeah, but I would have Harry Kane over Shearer when all is said and done, because of the fact that he's a more talented overall footballer.
Yes, but we're talking about like the upper echelons here of in terms of people's legacies, yeah?
Like right now, if Harry Kane wins the Premier League, I'm 100% putting him above Shearer. And I'll say that with chest.
Based on what?
What? Based on the fact that he's a better football player.
Just
and he's as prolific.
Overall, like he's got more strings to his bow, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And he's just as prolific as him.
It's very difficult to compare Kane and Shearer. They're from different eras, to be honest.
Precisely,
I don't know. Shearer was before.
It's not that difficult.
Shearer wasn't exactly shit, was he?
He wasn't.
He was sick. I think before he had before he had his knee injury, he was
he should have.
Yeah, before he had his knee injury, he was an absolute monster from everything I've seen, highlights wise, and everything I've read. But aside from that, I think if they were to retire today, Vardy's had a bigger legacy than Harry Kane.
100%.
100%.
100%.
Like your description of Kane's legacy, site is very much predicated on. But if he stays at Spurs and if he wins a trophy, yeah, if that happens, that's a different conversation. He stayed at the team that he was with while he could have gone to better teams, and he won.
That's my argument under you lot's criteria. I
think it's an argument under
personally.
Just generally how players' legacies are rated. Like winning is important.
It is.
Yeah, 100% is important. But I also factor in the fact that like Harry Kane came through at Spurs at a point where we weren't expected to do shit anyway, and he's a large part of the reason why we've ascended to a point where we can even be expected to be contenders on any level. At every level that he's played at, domestically, European and internationally, he's scored goals and he's proven his worth, right?
Agreed.
Him winning at Spurs, a Premier League or a Champions League, to me would elevate him into, again, that all-time great conversation. Not just best of his generation, but in terms of Tottenham Hotspur's legacy and English footballers, he'd be in that tier for me.
No, yeah, I don't think we're continue.
I can only speak for me. For me.
Right? Keep going, though. We're listening.
If he went on to win numerous titles, then 100% that conversation's being had across the board. No one can deny this guy because of
these are big ifs,
his ability.
Agreed.
But again, this is the thing. People keep saying he needs to leave Spurs, and where does that stem from? Why do people?
Because it seems like at Spurs he can't justify. He's not being able to justify his talent. Essentially, he's not been able to do his talent justice.
Think about Van Persie. Yeah, like I feel like he wasn't truly respected as in terms of his ability until he went to United. Fucked up and won the title there.
And Harry Kane currently, do you think he's more or less respected than Van Persie at that time?
That's cap.
Harry Kane's respected.
He's respected
more or less than Persie.
He's legacy wise, I don't think he's really got much there.
But if you look at someone like Gerrard's legacy,
he's respected more. He's respected more than Van Persie was.
Yeah, 100.
Because even me, as a Man United fan, I wasn't respecting Van Persie.
Yeah, but Van Persie was a star in the Arsenal team during the banter era of Arsenal. Kane is a star for Arsenal, for Spurs during their best period that any of us can remember. So even the narrative behind it is completely different. What were you saying, Peter, about Gerrard? What were you saying? Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a horrible tackle.
And you got to factor in that Van Persie spent most of his career injured at the beginning as well. So
yeah, I agree.
Harry Kane spent at least 2-3 months of every league season that he's played since his first one on the sideline.
That also affects your legacy, by the way.
He's played
injured.
But Peter, you were mentioning Gerrard. What did you want to say?
I was just saying that Kane is obviously looked at as one of the best strikers of his generation, and he will be looked at like that. Because same way Gerrard is looked at as one of the best midfielders of his generation, he hasn't won the Premier League. Like, I don't know. I feel like we're being a little bit harsh on.
Yeah, but you've won a Champions League.
There's a difference between midfielders and strikers. Yeah,
that's one. And also, we saw Gerrard win multiple cups.
Plus, Gerrard has bare accolades, man. Like,
exactly.
He has accolades. He has moments.
Exactly.
He's carried his team over the edge bare times.
To
win stuff. That is.
I have a question. Yeah, is what do you think is Kane's like biggest career moment on the pitch for Spurs?
It's a good question. I think for us, there have been moments where he's sort of been robbed of that big moment. Champions League final, we went into that injured. There was debates on whether or not he could actually play the game. I think he's done enough in... Here's the thing. For me, in all the campaigns...
You're struggling here, Sam, man.
I'll
just give us a moment.
I'll say the game where he scored against Arsenal and ripped off the face mask.
Yeah, that's an equaliser in the North London derby, by the way.
Precisely. But again, he's also scored winners against every big team in the league. So again, if you're asking me what my big moments are, they're going to be the ones that resonate with me. And because
but we're talking about
final, because he hasn't scored in a cup final to lift the trophy.
But we're talking about football legacy here, though.
Quick thing.
I can give you.
He's scored big games in the Champions League as well.
We need topless in here. We need topless.
No. I've heard sound.
Hold on, guys. One mic.
Let me speak.
Quick question.
Yeah,
one mic. Who's that saying? Let me speak with Sam.
Quick question. Respect the hierarchy.
No.
Respect the hierarchy.
You ain't gonna do that.
Yeah. All right. Respect the hierarchy. All right. Listen, Si. I'm saying, yeah. Who's got bigger moments in football? Yeah, Harry Kane or Rashford? I'm not laughing. He's got bigger moments in football than Marcus Rashford. Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Okay. Cool. I don't know.
I don't think either one of them have.
Very cool. Thanks for that. Yeah. Really... Slightly derailed us there, but I'll get us back on track. What were you saying, Moises?
Moises, go on. The trajectory that Spurs going on. Yeah, Dean Ashton would have been a Premier League legend if he never got injured. Then.
Who?
Dean Ashton.
Are you talking about West Ham?
He had moments. Can
the next person who's talking actually
moments? He scored a lot of goals in the Premier League.
That's just not true.
He's English.
We're talking about England captain.
That's ridiculous.
We're talking about England captain now, right?
The reason I asked that moments question, is because Harry Kane, he's got all these accolades, but it's like, for a top striker,
he doesn't really. I was having this conversation the other day when they were discussing it on the timeline. Somebody messaged me and was like, "What top Harry Kane moments do you remember?" And I was like, I mentioned the face mask coming off, and I mentioned just mainly quality goals that he scored. Mainly, it's harder to like. Even his golden boot was like the most underwhelming golden boot. Like
even Rashford had this moment.
Four pens and a deflected shot, and you're now like World Cup top scorer. Do you know what I mean? It's very
but you can only score the goals that are in front of you, innit? Like you guys asked me what my big moments for Harry Kane is. That particular game that I mentioned isn't the only North London derby that he scored.
Yeah. He scored in
that one.
he's got the record in it, yeah. But it's like, I think what's the it was his first North London derby, yeah, when he scored the header and then he like pushed Mertesacker and then scored from the side of the pitch. That's probably for me, like,
I was
in watching his career, that's probably one of the biggest moments. Like his first North London derby, he comes on and he fucks you up, yeah. But I just feel like even all these other strikers, like your Falcaos, your Cavani's,
fucking else said, man.
Fam, Rashford's got bigger moments than Harry Kane.
I don't know about that, man.
What about Kevin Phillips?
What you guys are describing?
For me, guys, hold on. One mic. For me,
Kevin Phillips has done
no, guys, for me, what I consider a big moment is when, like, we can all agree, like, okay, I remember that moment. Like, he's supposed to say that about Steven Gerrard. He's probably got like a dozen of those.
Yeah.
And then he's won shit for Liverpool. So I wouldn't compare Harry Kane to Steven Gerrard at all. I think it's actually quite disrespectful to do that. In all honesty, like if Harry Kane won a Champions League, that's his legacy right there. He won a Champions League with Spurs. Like, come on, how are you topping that? Like Vardy's won a league with Leicester, and then proceeded to be one of the Premier League's top strikers for 6-7 years.
Yeah,
it's a proper legacy, man. It's a proper legacy. And his first appearance in the Premier was 27. Come on, man. That's a proper football legacy, man.
Out of like all Premier League strikers, who do you think has the biggest legacy? Just like to see what you kind of judge it on.
Interesting, yeah. That's a good question.
Biggest legacy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to look past Henry.
Yeah.
Aguero's, I think, is underappreciated in terms of the longevity of it and
Aguero's right up
those
there,
moments.
right up there.
Rooney is number one.
I disagree with Rooney being number one.
I think Henry probably.
Are you fucking?
Yeah, I think Henry as well.
If we're talking about Premier League legacy, we're not talking about who's the best player. We're talking about legacy.
I think it's Henry.
I think Henry. I think it's Henry as well.
Yeah.
Forget Black Lives for a second, bro.
No,
I think Cantona's got a shout to be right up there as well, personally.
No, he doesn't.
He does.
No, but you can't mention a man in the 90s on this Discord.
I'm talking legacy though.
Legacy wise, yeah, probably for the people who watched him and stuff.
Wait. All right, sorry. What's the criteria for legacy, quickly, so I can just understand?
That's
so
why I was
criteria is just the total summation of it's greatness, essentially, isn't it? So what you won as a player, your individual accolades.
How good of a league, or are we talking like their legacy as a footballer?
Footballer or Premier League? Let's be clear. That's a good question, Sam.
Yeah.
I was thinking Premier League personally.
Yeah, Premier League. Then it has to be Wayne Rooney. It has to be.
No, I still
How
think
can it not be
I
Wayne
still think
Rooney?
it's Thierry, man.
Man.
Still think it's Thierry.
How?
I think, for me, just because
it's very hard to just think about Premier League.
Henry didn't win as much as Rooney. Henry's best level was a level above Rooney's for me.
Fine. But we're talking about legacy.
Legacy, but it's on the trophy.
Okay, so
but it's on the trophies. It's on the trophies that you're giving it.
They both have countless moments.
No. Like, legacy is one aspect of the game, innit? So if we're saying there's multiple attributes to this whole thing, you say he's a better player is only one aspect. That's like me saying Rooney has trophies. That's one aspect as well.
Yeah.
We're talking about game winners. For me, like we're talking about game winners. Like the things that Rooney done in the Prem. Nah, no. My thing is though, when you're talking about the trophies thing, all I needed to see is that Henry could win at Prem level, and he has 2. So for me, Rooney has 5. That's great. He played for a better manager. He played with better players, so he has more trophies. But for me, Henry has 2 Premier League titles, and his whole time here, he was the best striker in the league. Has dozens of goals, dozens of moments. For me, he has a greater.
Thierry Henry is considered the greatest striker to ever play in the Premier League. That's his legacy.
Not for me, bro.
Man.
Not for me.
That's his legacy. And
you think Rooney was a better striker in the Premier League than Henry?
Nah, not for me, bro. Not for me, man. Not for me. I'm talking. If we're talking about legacy, like, not for me, man. Not for me.
No, he was. Well, okay. So, who asked? G. Rich, was Rooney ever the main guy in those PL wins? What do you mean by main guy? Was he a key player? Yes.
Yeah,
Did
definitely
we
was.
ever win a title when he was our top scorer? No.
Did you not win the league when he was
We never won the title, yeah.
Nah, we
never
didn't.
won the
I'll
title.
say from
We
a
never won the
Chelsea
title
point of
with
being
just
good
one
at
player.
that time, Rooney
What
shat the life out of me.
What people tried to do, is say the season where everybody left and ruined before we got Van Persie. That's what people try to allude to. Yeah, there's never ever been in the history of Man United where there's just one player leading us there. Rooney. The only time that's happened is when Rooney was there. Yeah, and Rooney led us to joint first. Yeah. Well, sorry, joint. We lost on goal.
No, you finished second.
Rooney.
There is no joint
first.
Rooney led us there,
you
bro.
didn't chainsaw the fucking trophy in half and give half to you.
It's never ever happened in Man
He definitely led you in 09, 010 as well when you came second.
It's never, and then also, on top of that, when people mention Ronaldo's time, Rooney was equally as good as Ronaldo in every single time Ronaldo was there. Every single time we won a title,
no, he wasn't. Come on, no, he wasn't.
Equally as,
no, he wasn't.
Bro, we watched the games back.
No, he wasn't.
In the season when Ronaldo...
I agree, but he wasn't. Come on, man.
He was.
In the season when Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or, Rooney was not as good as him.
Yeah, no,
he
he
was on
was
the same level as Rooney. He was on the same level as Ronaldo.
That one, that's big cap, mate.
He was on the same level.
I'd say first and third titles, yes. Second title, no.
The last one is when Ronaldo superseded him.
But to be honest, last one you could argue that Rooney was better than him. To be fair,
when Ronaldo scored 42 goals?
No, the third. So we won 3 titles in Ronaldo's run. The first one, I'd give you that they were equal.
Yeah.
Second one, Ronaldo clearly a level above. Third one, I could give you that Rooney was better than him.
Okay, so then, all right. So the majority of the time, Ronaldo and Rooney were there. Rooney was better than Ronaldo.
Say they were, say equal.
Yeah, so 2 out of 3 times, Rooney was better. Going back.
No, one they were equal. One Ronaldo was way better.
All right, cool. So they were equal. So yeah, Rooney has led us to titles.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem in saying like Rooney was like one of the.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem in saying that either.
Yeah,
I'm saying.
But when people say main man, we know what they're alluding to when we're talking about attackers.
Without no Rooney, there isn't this Ronaldo thing don't happen.
I think that's like derogatory.
Agreed. I agree with that.
It don't happen. I think so. He's the main man.
No, but I still think if
Rooney
we're gonna make a blanket
statement, he can play. Yeah, that doesn't. United don't do anything. If he can't, go on the left.
Agreed.
I think that's fair. That's very fair.
He's the main man.
I agree.
You can't diminish Rooney's contribution to that.
That's what people try to do.
Yeah, you can't. No way you can't.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I don't think there's any diminishment.
Keep talking. You might be convincing me.
That's what I'm saying, bro. If Rooney can't play the multiple positions, that in fact, fuck it. Ronaldo's first Champions League final, I don't want to shit on Ronaldo,
That's what you're doing, by the way.
I'm gonna have to do it. I'm sorry. Go back and watch the fucking first half, and go watch Wayne Rooney. We should have been at least 3-4-0 up in the first half because of Wayne Rooney, bro. These men were bums. Rooney led us to that first Champions League. Rooney. Bro, come on, man. People just... You know what? When I went back and watched the games, I was getting dunked on. Then I had to go back and watch all these Rooney games. I'm thinking, wait, Rooney was, bro, scoring on the way to all these runs and that, scoring winners, scoring equalizers, all these titles and that. He's scoring the winners, scoring the equalizers, you know?
Yeah, you got a point. Now, Anik, we're talking about players' legacies. Feel free to hop on the live. You weren't here earlier for the Coppin one. Not sure what happened, brother. But happy to have you here. Tops is also here, brother. Tops, try to sneak in quietly.
Brothers? Yeah, I've been working.
You got caught like a rat in the highway, Tops.
I'm in Tottenham. I'm on cool. Well, I was at the hospital. I just in my yard.
Love it. You know.
Say no more. Let's come back to the Spurs game. What were your thoughts on the first half, lads?
That's the pen.
That's a penalty, bro.
The pen was a joke still.
How's the game? I'm driving. I ain't watched any of it.
Nice. There's not much of note to be perfectly honest.
Man. It's a poor tackle, man. Fuck. What's that about?
That's a penalty, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It's in a bad period, yeah?
A funny run.
You love to see it, man.
Not a good
You
look.
love to see it.
Top, I got a question for you.
Yeah, brother.
I got a question for you. Tom's coming on.
Yes, bro.
I don't know if you heard. What striker has the greatest Premier League legacy to you, and why?
What, in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Oh, in the Premier League, strikers legacy. Man, it has to be between Rooney and Henry, no?
If you have to pick one, though.
Last in legacy in the Premier League. It's Henry, man. Has to be Henry.
You're only saying
The reason I think it's Henry is because, like, the reason
why Henry over Rooney? I'm interested.
Okay, so I think Henry, in my opinion, in my lifetime anyway, was a superstar in terms of, like, he literally carried Arsenal on his back at times, and his style of play was, like, kind of unique because no one really did it. No one was running in behind the way he was doing it. No one was striking the ball, was doing it. No one was taking on the way he was doing it. I think of Rooney, like, I actually get annoyed about Rooney sometimes because I actually think Rooney's the greatest English player of all time. In my opinion, I feel like Rooney, he's because he played different roles. If it was straight 9, then Rooney, yeah, he's up there. But the fact that he played like all these different roles, like went to midfield a little bit, no, I'm a bit like. Whereas I look at Henry and a straight shooter. Every time I've seen him, nobody wants to smoke with him.
Okay, so question: Do you knock Rooney for this? So basically, Rooney's career, whenever he played up top, he bagged.
He bagged.
Are you going to dock him for the seasons where he didn't play up top and didn't put up top striker numbers?
I'm not going to dock him, but I feel like those seasons, like, okay, for instance, do you know what annoys me about this argument is that, like, when Rooney was up top he was bagging. He was actually bagging. But I feel like the seasons when I think of him, man, and like the seasons that I think of him, I'm like, yeah, he didn't bang that season. He was played out of position that season. But when I think of Henry was a shooter the whole time. Like, literally, for however long he went, he was a straight shooter. So for me, yeah, I think it has to be Henry. It has to be Henry, I think.
Okay, cool. Any rebuttals to that?
Rooney won FA Cup here playing centre mid. Let's not forever forget that as well. Just never forget that, man.
Okay.
Unreal player, man. The best.
No, he was. I you know what? I'm definitely not knocking him. Definitely not.
Guy was so good. That's the reason why he played everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
Ronaldo's gone off into the sunset and that.
Okay, got a question for you, Tops. So I be unbiased. Who's got a Premier League legacy? Jamie Vardy or Harry Kane, and why?
Well, the answer is obviously Kane, bro.
Why? Why? No. Let's hear it. Why? I'm interested to hear why.
All right.
Why?
First of all,
if they retire today, what's their legacies?
Okay. First of all, no one's ever knocking Jamie Vardy. What Jamie Vardy's done in the time period he's done it, and also the way he's done it. But I feel like Jamie Vardy's legacy is only on a high because of the team. I really do mean, and I said this the other day. Like, I feel like he was a very big part of that Leicester team, but he wasn't the contributing number one factor to pulling that team to the league. He was a large.
Yeah, no one player wins the league, but
which is fine. However, when we're looking at Premier League strikers, first of all, Kane has more goals than him.
Yeah.
Second of all, Kane has more golden boots than him. Thirdly, Kane is a all-round better striker. If we're looking man for man, at their peak, Kane is a better striker than him. And I feel like Kane will continue to score more. And actually, probably in the Premier League or at Tottenham, will probably come close based on the way he plays to get into that sheer record. So for those reasons...
So when he retires, what's his Premier League legacy? Like if he was to retire today?
He wins, but this is the thing.
Don't add if.
What are you saying right now? Are you saying right now? So, Mariah, are you saying right now?
That's what I keep saying, bro. I mean, I know you can hear me.
For me, bro, it has to be Kane, bro. It has to be Kane.
So his legacy is loads of goals for Spurs. Hasn't won any trophy. Full stop.
Took his mask off.
Yeah.
Okay. See, the thing is, though, like, I think I actually, you're underestimating. You're actually underestimating what Kane has done.
Let me ask you something else.
What you're doing, I think you're underestimating what Kane has done.
Let me ask you something else. What are his big football moments? Like memorable moments from Kane's career that we remember, that we'll remember like 10 years from now? Not just for you, like football moments.
Football moments. I mean, okay, what as in like Premier League or as a player?
Premier League, like not. So don't tell me the Golden Boot, because that was an unforgettable Golden Boot. So that doesn't count. What are his like moments?
Moments. If you're asking me off the back, well,
I could give you, like, if you were to ask me the same question about Henry, about Rooney, about Gerrard.
You just say winners in games though.
This is what I'm trying to allude to, like, because, like, okay, you could say things like most amount of goals ever in North London derby against Arsenal. Most amount.
Okay, I'd have to Google that.
But he is though.
We don't have to Google that.
All right.
But you'd have to Google who won the winners in other games as well, man. Come on, stop it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about his memorable football. You lot are struck. You haven't given me one. You're telling me most goals.
Okay. So you're saying you man are struggling. Okay, so I'm guessing you're comparing Vardy. So what are you saying for Vardy?
Not just to Vardy. I'm just talking about in terms of, like, this is something else that comes into legacy. Those moments where they did something that captured all our attentions, and we remember that moment. We remember where we were when it happened. So I want you to tell me a moment, and then I'll be like, oh yes, I remember where I was when Kane did that.
Okay, I hear you.
So none, yeah.
I mean,
no worries. I'm moving on, Mariah. What's the next question?
I'm looking at winners, isn't it? That's it. That's about it, really.
All right, say nothing, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Genuinely, thank you for coming, brother.
You're coming like a lawyer, fam.
No, not at all. Because for me, I think it's very difficult. Like, I'm a big Harry Kane fan. I think it's very difficult if they retire today to say that Kane has a greater legacy than Jamie Vardy. The story plays a part in it, but if you bag loads of goals, hey. Like, the winning is so intrinsically linked to how we rate these players. And how your medals on the table, big man. That's what they're going to tell you. When it's all said and done,
but there's lots of players who have won Premier Leagues that are trash.
No, that's not what we're saying.
Let me finish. No, I like that. But that's the thing. That's true. I wouldn't tell you to compare Wes Brown to give me a top Premier League right back. That doesn't apply to Jamie Vardy, though. He has the accolades and he has the individual body of work.
On the moments bit, what is Jamie Vardy's moment then? Winning the league? Is that what you're going to tell me?
No, might be
like 10 goals in a row as well.
Yes, and he broke
against Liverpool.
When he scored against United.
One mic.
I can't United to break the 10 goals in a row.
Goal against United, his goal against Liverpool.
You guys said about Googling. You guys are literally telling us moments where he scored against your team. That's the only reason you know about it.
No, but he broke the record. So obviously, like, it was 10 goals in a row.
I don't think any of them were against Chelsea.
But it's like Arsenal fans will remember every single goal that Harry Kane has scored against them. So if I say, okay, I remember the towering header.
Bro, on guard, we don't.
I literally only remember like 3 goals against us.
Should, mate.
Wait, who?
Whoever
against
said on
Arsenal.
guard, we don't.
He scored like 11, and like I swear to you, like half of them were pens in my head.
No, brother, have respect.
No, that's cap.
Have respect, man.
Come on, man. How are you speaking?
The point is half of them may not be pens, but that's what he's saying, that they're not memorable.
Yeah, he said he's not memorable.
What? Because someone scores the most amount of goals. Someone scores the most amount of goals in the North London derby in both clubs' history, and that's what.
I told you the goals that I remember in it. I told you them already. So I'm not saying that none of them are memorable, but I specifically told you the ones that I remember. And I think those are like probably in Harry Kane's career. Those are probably like, I think there's one goal where he like ran through people in the 5-3. I think when he ran through a couple of players and then slapped it. But then, other than that, there's limited.
And also,
no disrespect, yeah.
And we remember goals in games that like mean something more than just getting 3 points.
North London derby.
But that's the thing. So you're talking about winners and stuff like that. I can remember Harry Kane winners, but if you're gonna ask me moments, they're gonna be moments that resonated with me, innit? Like,
what about resonate with like one of the
but that's the thing. I'm not. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking about
the only time anybody
for football fans.
Okay, so the ones that resonate with football fans are on a very short list. In my honest opinion, is Wayne Rooney's bicycle kick, is Van Persie's volley against Charlton, is Henry's free kick when he shrugged at the ref. These aren't particularly game. Like, some of them are game winners.
Wayne Rooney's debut.
There's loads. Rooney's goal against Newcastle, the volley.
Rooney's goal against Newcastle. There's so many.
Henry, the one against Bartes when he turns him. Do you know what I mean? Like Henry running through the whole Liverpool team, Henry running through the whole of Tottenham's team, Henry running through the whole Real Madrid's team.
And then these guys have moments.
Yeah, but we've seen that.
And they have the moments compounded. They have the moments compounded with the ability, and then they have the moments compounded with the ability, compounded with the success. So when you stack them up, the body of work is not.
Okay, then. So then, if you're giving, if that's what you're calling it by, then Kane has 2 of those. Well, let's say. Sorry.
What are those?
Well, he's definitely got the ability, and he has, in my opinion, and he has the golden boots, and he has the fact that he's the most decorated goal scorer in North London derby. I mean, like,
we don't care about that shit, man. We don't care about that shit.
Okay, because now you man are going to say, okay, fine. Vardy has
the. You see, do you know who had that North London derby record before Kane?
I'm going to say so like Adebayor, sorry.
It was Adebayor, bro. Like,
how did I know? I'm taking it
off, man. Brothers.
Yeah, but you've got to caveat that because he also banged them in against you lot for us, innit? So.
Yeah, but that's the
record. Like, based on what I said, that doesn't make any sense. Then it's not even worth listening to that about Adebayor. Then.
Yeah, it's a nothing record, isn't it?
It's a nothing record.
No, it doesn't.
Nobody cares about North London derby.
Oh no, come on, man.
I don't know
how many goals he scored against Chelsea.
I don't know.
Liverpool.
I don't know who's the leading goal scorer in the Manchester derby. I don't know who that is. It's not important.
That's because the Manchester derby's only been relevant for like,
but even
eight years or something like that, bro.
But there's been better players involved in that.
But you could say the same about the North London derby. That's only been relevant.
Manchester United versus Liverpool derby.
Okay, I don't know the leading scorer in the Manchester versus Liverpool derby. Then it's not important. That's not important.
Okay, so also, what records are important then to you?
What I just said, in regards to consecutive goals, like, so for example, when we're speaking about leagues and stuff like that, people mention consecutive clean sheets or whatever. Vardy has the most consecutive goals scored, and he scored
the one that suits your argument then.
And it was the year they won.
It doesn't suit the argument. We have an argument, and it just so happens that Jamie Vardy has something that supports our point that he has a bigger legacy than Kane. That's it.
No,
are you man saying? Apart with me and Sai, are you man saying that Vardy has a bigger legacy? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Brilliant percent.
Yeah.
Right, hear it.
You know what? Let me explain right now.
Sterling.
Sorry, one thing. So Sai makes a good point here that he's tried to defend Kane as much as possible, but I don't think he's given enough.
Oh, Lloris is shit, man. Game done.
I don't think
Lloris is shit, man.
Lloris is fucking.
What's that?
This guy's worse than the head.
That's embarrassing.
21 in 21.
Well, who just scored?
Team's going to be playing Europa League next year, Fahim.
21 in 21. Something is happening, Mariah. Something is happening.
My fantasy team.
Something is happening. I can feel it. I can feel it. Something is happening.
I can feel it too, Fahim.
21 in 21.
I'm not rattled. It's just weird. Like,
something is happening.
Look around. We built this.
What did you build? You helped me today, big man.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, you seen this? You seen the shit, sir?
Yeah,
fucking
Maurice is not good, man. He's got to go.
The whole lot is done, man. Honestly, I'm telling you.
I told you, Seb, man. Spurs are bubbling.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, man.
2-0, yeah.
2-0, man. I told you, you'll put your to Jose in 2021. Come on, man.
Look at that.
I think City are going to go for the UCL, you know.
Fuck's sake.
It's cap, man. It's cap.
I can't think of any other team in the Champions League that's going to go for it.
Remember when Jamie Vardy scored a hat-trick against City this year?
Hilarious. Yes, that's very funny. Do you remember when?
So shameless.
Do you remember how badly Harry Kane destroyed Dejan Lovren? I know you remember that one.
Bring me toast.
I know you remember that goal.
Yo, respectfully,
that game.
Nobody cares. Bro.
Bring me toast.
Nobody cares. Respectfully.
Sorry.
Who
Bring me toast.
I think
doing that?
Nobody cares, respectfully.
You know who it is, man. Who's that on the roof of the chopper?
What's on?
Yeah, I think it's interesting to me because when both Sai and Tops are speaking about Harry Kane's legacy, there's a lot of if talk as well.
Yeah,
It's all
projecting.
If
no, because I'll tell
expected
you,
legacy.
I'll tell you why. Because I'm not an idiot, right? When somebody else puts their parameters, I consider them in my arguments. I don't just sit there and speak out my bum, innit? Like, so if you guys have put your criteria forward,
Sebi, he's talking about you, by the way. Yo, Sebi, that's you.
If you put your criteria forward,
that's fine. Yeah, I mean their criteria is right.
Simple. So
yeah, of course.
If you talk about moments,
if there's two Spurs fans and they think Kane's got the better legacy, and the fans of all the other teams think Vardy does, then
no. But the thing is, though, man, you need to take into account what Kane has done in the time that he's done it as well. Like, I don't think people are respecting him enough.
That's it.
He's getting all the respect.
What's he
getting all the respect?
There's a reason people are telling him to leave Spurs, bro.
I agree with Spurs fans though, and I'm a Liverpool fan, so I don't know. It's not as night and day as you can say.
Right now,
all right. Forget it's night or day or not.
In the same spot, fam.
In your position, in your opinion, who has the better legacy? Forget night and day and all of that stuff.
I say Kane. I still say
Blood
Kane.
How? Blood.
Because just in my opinion, I've seen Kane and Vardy throughout their whole careers, and Kane's just a better player than.
No one's saying who's the better player.
It's not about whether who's the better player.
That's not the discussion. Who's the better player? Drogba's got a better legacy than
that's not right.
But it's not about quality.
I said it's not right.
What, the same Drogba that hasn't scored 100 goals?
It's not about quality of player.
He has got 100 goals. He has got 100 goals.
Hey, do you know what's funny? Yeah,
it's about 100 goals. Do you know what's funny? I want to hear Peter. I want to hear Peter. Man said it's not right. You know what's not right, Peter?
But I'm just saying, Kane's in the upper tier to Vardy in my mind. That's the way.
You're talking about ability. We said legacy.
As a footballer, yeah, I don't think anybody would disagree with that. But legacy,
I don't even compare the two because Kane in my mind is clear of him.
You're talking about ability, though. We said legacy, no?
Yeah, but that's the thing. If we're gonna sit there and say the quality of the player doesn't factor in, if the quality of the player doesn't factor in,
yeah, go on. Yeah, go on.
You see Olivier Giroud, yeah. If you look at his career accolades, yeah, his legacy, he's won the World Cup as the main striker for France. He's their third time all-time top scorer. He's won a league similar to Jamie Vardy with a team that had no right winning the league with Montpellier, yeah, in France. He's won the Europa League. He's won like 4 FA Cups, right? So do you think that Kane's legacy is bigger than in the sport?
It's not the same, man.
Why not?
It's not the same as Jamie Vardy. We're talking about Vardy here. Giroud was nowhere, as in Giroud was good, of course, but he wasn't as pivotal as Vardy was to Leicester winning the league. And
what for Montpellier? He was the top scorer in League 1, fam.
Let's not talk about League 1 compared to the Prem alone, innit? Talk us of
no, but I'm talking about in football. I'm talking about.
You're saying in football, but the pedigree of the league matters.
And so winning the World Cup as the main striker.
Yeah, of course, it was important in that, but let's not act like we're talking about the same.
That was Ben. So what do you not think? So Peter, what do you think Vardy's legacy is then?
Vardy. What? Sorry.
Oh no, sorry.
What do you think Vardy's legacy is?
I think Vardy's legacy is obviously winning the Premier League in the team that he shouldn't have, and then going on to become a very, very good striker in his time. But the way I look at it, it's like majority of people, if you ask them like who's the better striker or people say Kane or Vardy. Like I think the majority of kids in this generation will grow up wanting to be Kane than Vardy, and that's how I see it.
What a serial loser!
And that's part of the legacy. People have seen Kane as a better striker, and more kids will grow up to want to be Kane than Vardy.
I think that's a fair point, though. That is a fair point in terms of legacy.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know.
England, you don't forget the England captain, man.
Sorry?
I said you won't forget England captains for someone that in that period. He's the England captain for in this
captain
period.
Of what? A country that won nothing. Come out of my face, man.
But I'm just saying though, man. That's a
legacy. Nobody's slapping it in top business shouting Kane.
This is a legacy of what?
Listen. No one is saying that Kane doesn't have a legacy. We're discussing which is the.
That's not what anybody's saying. Nobody's even saying Vardy's a better player than Kane because that would be ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, but that's the thing that's interesting for me though. For you guys wait. If you guys are waiting what you've won more so than the quality of the individual player, the legacy conversation. For me, the legacy conversation sort of goes out the window because you're saying who has a winning legacy and who doesn't.
Premier League legacy.
But then that would instantly shift anyone that's contributed to a title ahead of somebody that hasn't.
No, because that's being reductive or minimalistic or whatever. We're talking about two players who are not night and day of each other. There's got to be some type of tiebreaker.
Yeah, but you can name all of the ways that they are night and day because of their perception within world football is night and day. Their perception within world football is night and day.
Is that not only? I don't know. Is that not only due to the fact that Vardy plays for Leicester, though?
No, it's not because Harry Kane plays for.
If Vardy was in a better team. Their positions.
Yeah, but Tottenham Hotspurs have been competing. At the top level for the last 5 years.
But overall, Tottenham are still a better side than Leicester, and they've been in the Champions League and whatnot. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, if Vardy was playing, say Vardy got that Arsenal move,
he continued to bag the way he bagged now.
To continue
for reputation, man.
And in the Champions League,
of course.
Yeah, like his reputation would definitely be higher.
Leicester are unfashionable. Like, good, well done for Leicester striker.
What you guys are now listing are all the ways where Jamie Vardy's legacy might not hold as much weight as you guys are saying.
Someone's connection.
Can't hear you, guys.
That's someone's connection.
Yo, whoever's in the car,
cool. Everyone mute yourself if you're not interested.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute.
Perfect.
That's better. Yeah,
Harry Kane, what are you on today?
The team that he's played at and all of these type of things for Jamie Vardy will also play a factor in his legacy, right? So for me, if I'm sitting there and I'm saying, okay, cool. If I'm going to list the best strikers in world football over the course of their careers or over the course of the time where they were prominent, Harry Kane scores higher in that regard. Literally the only place.
How do you think their pairs will?
Wait, let him finish.
Sorry.
Literally, the only aspect where Jamie Vardy would win is the fact that he has a Premier League title. Like, that's literally the only one where he scores higher than Kane. So for me, it's a case of how much weight do you put on that one thing, and that goes for any component of a person's legacy. So Harry Kane literally wins in every other aspect except for what they've won. And for me, I put Harry Kane higher because of that.
I think what you win weighs heavy in your legacy.
It weighs
heaviest.
I'm saying it weighs heavy, but if say there's 5 components and literally what you've won is the only component that you win, for me, there's still a chance that the other player can win based on a case by case.
There is. I think when you weigh up what they've achieved, Jamie legacy has a weighty legacy in his own right. He's won the Golden Boot. He's finished with over 20 Premier League goals. What is it, 2-3 times? He's won Player of the Year. He's won a league title. This all started at 27. He's got a legacy that we'll still be talking about Jamie Vardy in 10, 20 years for sure.
The romanticized bits for me don't hold as much weight. Like for me, if I was when I'm gonna think about Jamie Vardy in the future, the thing that weights the highest for me is going to be the fact that making it to the league at 27 and then winning it and proving that you belong, right? That for me is the extent of his legacy. That's how I describe it. When I'm going to describe Harry Kane, I'm going to say he is a generational talent. He was one of the best strikers in world football at the time. For me, just on that basis alone, Harry Kane's legacy.
He's not a generational talent, but he was a top striker in his era.
Definitely a top striker, but definitely not a generational talent.
Of his generation, I think he's.
It could be best of his generation, but for me, when I look at generational talent, I look at it like, can you transcend different generations? Do you know what I mean? Are you going to do best if I take you to another generation? That's how I look at it.
And you think Harry Kane's game translates to different generations, though?
I don't think he'd be the best because there was players that were slapping.
I think to be generational, you have to be firstly the best of your generation. Harry Kane isn't the best of his.
There's an argument to say that he's in a conversation to be the best of his generation. No,
he doesn't have the legacy. So now it gets interesting because if I put him alongside the people who you'd be comparing him to, legacy wise, he comes at the bottom of that list.
But then he could easily get plug and played into a championship winning side. And then you guys will give
but he hasn't though. That's weird. So this is an if thing. You can't build a player's legacy off an if, which is why people tell people to move, because you need to have the actual, not if you put him in Real Madrid or if you put him in Barcelona, what would he do? I need you to do it, innit? This is why if your legacy ends up
we had this conversation with Van Persie. Van Persie's legacy.
And then he went like Dan Coogs said, when he went to Manchester United, he won and he was a main player at that level. His reputation went up a level.
Did it go up a level?
It's
or
just
did it just solidify the fact that was his level?
No, it went up a level.
My perception of Van Persie didn't change all that much. You knew that he was the dog's bollocks, innit? You knew he was the guy.
It wasn't solely that. I think the year before at Arsenal, he slapped it as well.
Yeah,
and his
exactly.
Which is great for a team that finishes fourth, but it's different levels, man.
Oh, it definitely went up a level at United.
Of course it was. Of course it did. It was different levels of different requirements. It's no different than Jesse Lingard looking like a scrub for Manchester United and going to West Ham and looking like one of their best ballers. We're second, they're fifth? There's levels. Like, you have to prove and show your level at the highest level. Just saying, put him in XYZ team and he does the same thing. It doesn't work like that. Maybe when you go to that team at a higher level, your manager asks you to, instead of being a guy who scores 30, I need you to do a job for the team out wide.
Listen, man, I would love to shit on Arsenal in this conversation and agree with you, man, because that is the pathway that it would take. I just shit on Arsenal and be like, yeah, Manchester United far ahead of you, man, blah 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 blah. But I considered him to basically just go to a team that was at that moment in time in a position to win the Premier League because they had finished second the year before. Like, I didn't see it as like this major step up. And that's as a neutral and as a person that despises Arsenal, innit? Like, so for me, my perception of Van Persie didn't change all that much. It was just, okay, cool. Now when your career finishes, you have something to show for being a world-class finisher. Like,
in terms of like if we're talking legacy and reputation at the time, it definitely went up.
It did. I don't think Van Persie became a better player at Manchester United.
I don't think he did become a better player though, personally, because he actually had a better season the year before at Arsenal. He scored 37 goals. 37 goals, and people were not putting him. They were like, oh yeah, this guy's potentially a world-class player there because he's had 18 months of form. I think it's only after he went and did it at the level of United is when people respected him and put him up there as one of the best Premier League strikers that we've seen. Because before that, no one would have ever had Van Persie in that conversation. I don't think.
He was lucky.
If he never left Arsenal, the legacy he has in comparison to legacy he has now is different. Like, noticeably different.
Completely different.
That's my thing. Like when you put Harry Kane beside the players whose level he is as a player, he plays for Tottenham. He hasn't won anything. Like these guys have bad goals and won shit, proving themselves at the highest level. He comes bottom of that list, which is why everybody says he needs to go to Tottenham.
And when you think about that moments thing, yeah, like Van Persie, the volley that he scored, Rooney to Van Persie against Aston Villa to win the league, yeah, that volley is rated way higher than, and he scored that goal probably 4 times.
Oh my God, 3-0.
Get out! Gundogan!
What is
Jesus
up with Gundogan
Christ!
this season, man?
Wow!
I can't wait. Did Gundogan score again?
Yeah.
Edison assist, I think.
Edison assist, you know. Edison assist.
Bro, the takedown was absolutely nuts, man.
I got bare fantasy points for this loss, man. Who cares?
21 in 21.
Alright, fine, mate.
Oh, man.
It's not working. It's not working, Keeper. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, get your wins where you can, I guess, man.
It's over, lad. Sorry, lad.
For Man United fans, yeah, for Man United fans, the most important thing was Liverpool to win the league.
Maybe 21 in 22, yeah?
Oh, man.
Could that be a hashtag?
Let's park this conversation, and please, can somebody clip
Sanchez
sliding on his face?
What do you think of Sanchez?
Look at his face.
Sliding on his face, bro.
How you letting Gundogan bully you like that, man?
Oh my God.
How's man sliding on his face?
Boy, that's that celebration on FIFA.
First he stretches you out, then he crosses you over. Jesus.
For me, please.
My guy said Sanchez was doing the
man. We're talking about a tough run of games for Tottenham, for City, you know. They're walking.
Yeah, Gundogan's been on them. It's been nice to see. I've just been nice to see Gundogan do well again, man.
Stop the count.
Used to like him at Dortmund. I thought he was so cold, man. I wanted us to sign him. I wanted us to sign and get
count.
That is
Jesus Christ. Spurs getting dunked on, man.
Count. Getting on his face, bruv. What's that?
Yeah.
Man's gonna be eating grass for like 4 days, bruv. Yeah, I'm good, Anu.
Sorry.
I'm good, Anu. I'm here.
We'll talk offline, yeah. We'll talk offline. Sorry about this.
You can't out me. You can't out me.
Sorry. We'll talk offline. I'm
sorry.
What do you need to say?
I'll book you a flight, brother.
Well, I'll text you. Yeah, I'll text you. Sorry,
you don't have my number, my G.
Sorry. Regards to the family, yeah. Yeah. All right. Speak to you after the game. Nice one. Continue.
Oh man. How many games did you play?
You think Chelsea were like the best team in the league? The way Anu talks, man.
I hope sub him off. That's like a groin strain.
Get that clean sheet. Come on.
Yeah, sub him off, man. Fuck. Nah, man. Yeah, Sanchez is poor blood.
That was a terrible defender.
Poor.
How do you body him like that? Jeez.
I don't even know how that happens. Like, that's some
that Sanchez face in the grass thing. That's gonna be a classic. That's gonna be a football classic.
We can't allow that, man. It's a Black History Month.
Ah, man. Yeah, they took him off still.
Fantasy team fucked, bruv.
What did Gundogan play for your fantasy team?
Yeah, bruv.
So why is it fucked? Doesn't he get to? Oh, the injury.
Because he's gonna be out. Yeah.
Have you got Bruno in yours?
Fernandez, yeah.
You know what to do. You know the vibe.
Yeah, man. I know the vibes. The stat hungry guys, isn't it?
Cancelo's been brilliant this season, man.
Do you know what? I took him out. I've got Stones instead. These men are getting a clean sheet.
Do you have any Spurs guys?
In it. Kane and Son.
Oh. Yeah.
Dirty.
Poor guys, man.
Son's
they both need to leave, man.
Wait, shut up, man. Stop that. I know Manchester United would love to have both of them as well. Sell some more shirts.
But seriously, why? If you were them, why do you stay?
Where do you go? Where do you go at this point?
Jesus.
There's a level above Kane, man. There's a level above Spurs.
Yeah, where do you go? I'm asking a genuine question. There's one thing about me, right? There's one thing about me is not everything is loaded, in it. Like,
Manchester United. You go to Manchester United.
No, you don't.
City, Man City. And
you don't go to Man U. Let's
You 100% go to
Manchester United.
No, you don't go to Man U.
Why?
This is like the first season in however many years. Like, you guys aren't levels above us. You're not levels above us.
We are.
No, you're just in a better. You're in a better patch than we are.
If you lose Kane and we gain Kane, then we go levels above you. That's the point. Kane
precisely, but we know that that's not how footballers think.
Wait. It's saying that United are not a level above Spurs.
Currently, no, they're not.
You know we're currently like 10 points ahead of you, right?
That's fine.
Yeah, but that's currently now. That's currently now.
Come on, man. There's more nuance to. There's not more nuance than that, my guy. Stop it.
No. I don't understand his point though. Because he's saying about we're 10 points ahead of us. The same team. You slapped 6-1.
One mic.
You slapped on 6-1. Yeah. So what? Just because you're currently 10 points doesn't mean that you're level. Wait. So you slapped us 6-1 by 5 clear goals. So that's plus 3 points for you and minus 3 for us, and we're still 10 points ahead of you. That don't mean nothing.
Let's keep it very simple.
What means something? Banks maths, bro.
What means something? What means something then?
Let's keep it basic. Yeah, is Manchester United a bigger club than Spurs?
Obviously,
in terms of
so that is why. That is simply why players would leave Spurs to go to.
Okay, so why? When was the last time one of our players left?
Is the argument why would Kane leave Spurs to join Man United?
Yeah.
At this current moment.
Oh my God! Did you not go score? Did you not go score?
Why?
I said Son and Kane should leave. Sai said, where would they go? I said City, United, and Sai said not United.
Where have you not been in the last 30 years? Do you not understand that status matters?
Okay, so over that course of time, what players have left Spurs over this period that we're in, this like 10-year period?
Who did we watch?
Where Spurs have increased. Go on.
It's because first things first, you haven't had a player worth taking since Bell, and this one is I haven't finished. And this one, Harry Kane, is just at a price that nobody can take. But don't think because United, I'm not saying United as all, they can't. Juventus were going to Champions League finals, winning leagues. They went and took the best player in Pogba. So please understand what you're saying. There's a thing called stats in football. There's a thing called stats in football. There's a thing called stats in football. Yeah.
For you to say that over the last 10 years there haven't been players worth taking.
Who's worth taking your team?
Has just been mentioned. Son has just been mentioned first and foremost. You guys have been linked with our players and not been able to nab them.
No,
Danny Rose,
what?
Eric Dyer,
Eric Dyer, Danny Rose. What are you man on about, man?
Modric chose to go Real Madrid. That's a club.
You want to know the joke of it? Do you want to know the joke of it?
I don't understand. Are you man thinking that Danny Rose and Eric Dyer wouldn't have gone to United?
That's what I was trying to say.
Or what? Or do you think
they didn't go to United? It doesn't matter whether they could have or would have.
No. But your argument is saying that Harry Kane wouldn't go to United. But why would those players go? Harry Kane wouldn't.
That's super reductionist for somebody.
I'm saying none of them have gone. Of them have gone.
Wait, I'm going to tell you why. The biggest issue that Manchester United have with Hotspur is Daniel Levy. Yeah, They said they would never deal with Daniel Levy again. Like, that's one of the biggest things they've had. But if we're talking about hypothetical, would Kane leave Tottenham Hotspur to go Manchester United?
We're not talking hypotheticals, though. We're talking cold hard facts.
He's not coming.
We're saying if Mourinho says, if I say where would he go? If I'm saying where would he go? Right? And maybe I should have clarified. But if we're saying where should he go?
But the reason why you said it wouldn't happen was because United aren't levels above.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
There's numerous reasons, and that is one of them. That is one of them, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, and we're staying on that. We're staying on that point there.
Okay, and levels above takes numerous things into account. Your footballing profile on the pitch, the commercial profile off the pitch, and the ability to actually get the deal done. Right? Certain clubs, the Man Cities of the world, whether or not they're paying out of the eyes for these players, manage to get these deals done where nobody's able to keep their players away from Manchester City, right? We can all agree on that. Liverpool have gotten.
What are you talking about?
Why wouldn't we agree with that? How many signings have they lost out?
Chelsea can definitely keep their players away from Man City.
Yeah, Chelsea can. Who's Man City prized? Who's Man City prized away?
Club.
Who's they prized away that the club was refusing to sell? Who?
Who's they snatched away from?
I don't know all those Arsenal men that they bought up in that like period.
What we're gonna say is we're gonna diminish some teams good because you feel like it's an attack on your team's bad.
I don't know where you got that from.
You guys were also linked with Christian Eriksen, and you didn't get that deal over the line either, right? You know that, right? So there's a whole list of players. There's a whole list of players that you guys have missed out on from Tottenham Hotspur Football Club for a variety of different reasons. But you lot think
the biggest reason, which I just said to you, I just said to you, yeah. Ever since the Modric deal, yeah, United refused to deal with Daniel Levy, regardless of your links. Jose Mourinho was begging Woodward to go and pay 50 million for Dyer. We did not do it. We did not want to go do it.
They said no.
We did not want to go do it. We did not want to go do it. It's simply because we don't want to deal with Daniel Levy. The last player we wanted was Luka Modric or Gareth Bale, whoever left last. Yeah, both of them specifically wanted to go to Real Madrid. Gareth Bale in particular. In fact, do you know what?
Why do you keep saying those were the last players when we have a short list of players that I've just mentioned that have been linked with Manchester United?
Shall I tell you what's so crazy about the Gareth Bale deal? Is that in fact we actually bid more than Real Madrid, but he said no, I wanted to go to Real Madrid. So we could have easily taken Gareth Bale, but there's Real Madrid, which is a level above us, which we can admit. We can admit that players would rather go Real Madrid than Manchester United. As simple as and it's simple to say that players would rather go to Manchester United than to Tottenham Hotspur because we're a level above, and we would take any player from Tottenham Hotspur if we wanted to.
There's a short list of players. There's a short list of players that are well documented that have been linked with Manchester United.
We're never going to deal with Levy. I just told you. Documented was never going to do that deal.
So you can't say if we wanted them, we could get them, but you've wanted them and you've not got them.
We didn't want them. What is the short list? Well, I've told you. Manchester United
said Danny Rose.
Specifically,
do you know the joke of it? The joke of it is right. Is I've had conversations with the actual Manchester United fucking director who has said the short list of players to me verbatim and said, yeah, some of them we put in formal bids and we couldn't get them over the line.
Danny Rose, yeah, is it the Danny Rose?
So what are we talking about?
That sat out. I don't know about that. I can't confirm. But is it the Danny Rose that sat out because he didn't want to play for Spurs? He wanted to leave?
No, it was before then. It was at the time where Carl Walker went to Man City. Danny Rose was linked with you lot.
Is that because did those moves not happen because United aren't levels above Spurs, or was it for other reasons?
I'm saying at that moment in time, we were at a level where we could refuse that. But this is the point that I'm making. I think it's very, very. It's like in bad taste to be like, all right, we're above you in the league, so now everything is back.
Forget the league. I don't care about the league.
United's always been above Spurs. United's always been above Spurs.
Flip the roles now.
Wait. Forget I've only just joined and I've only just heard some of this debate. But didn't you guys bid for Dier and Ali?
Who?
Eric Dier and Dele Alli.
No,
you said he wanted Ali at Man United.
He wanted them, and we did. And Woodward declined. He declined. You don't want.
But clubs of that mad profile don't decline to do deals because they can't get over the line with someone else's chairman. You just go and you do it.
Woodward has declined about 50% of Jose Mourinho's offers. Hence why Jose Mourinho was actually tanking the season. And Jose Mourinho actually said this. He said, "I wanted Eric Dyer." That's why when Jose Mourinho came to your squad, he said, we've got a better team than Manchester United. The players that Jose Mourinho wanted, Toby. He wanted Toby from Spurs. He wanted Dyer from Spurs. Woodward said no. It's quite simple. That's why he's coming. He said, he's gassed. He was super gassed when he comes to Spurs. He's like, you guys are better. All the players that he wanted are at Spurs. But Woodward didn't want them.
Yeah.
Seb's dunking on y'all.
What about Christian Eriksen, who Van Gaal said that he wanted, and he ended up staying at Spurs?
I
What
think
about
the
that
Prem
one?
League,
We never. There's no. I don't remember United ever chasing.
No, I've had the
Eriksen when he was
conversation.
at Spurs.
I've legit had the conversation. That was news to me.
For
I got
example,
told that.
even if Van Gaal wanted them,
Whoa, wait.
Again,
What was the conversation? What was the conversation?
No.
The
This
conversation
is
I
fine.
went
Shall I
into
tell you
an
what?
ex-executive
Van
from
Gaal
Manchester
probably did
United,
want
and he
I
said,
said what was the conversation. I said what was the conversation. Don't tell me who you went with. I said what was the conversation. What was said?
I'm telling you what the
Van Gaal wanted
conversation is.
Eriksen. Van Gaal wanted
Van
Eriksen.
Gaal wanted Eriksen.
All right, shall I tell you something? Shall I tell you who was Van Gaal
So
wanted?
what does that mean? Managers want better players.
Okay, so Van Gaal wanted Eriksen. They had the conversation, and he said, this will be a bit too difficult for us to pull over the line, considering everything that's going on at the club. We're gonna have to go elsewhere.
Yeah, so my thing is, it's like the premise that players can't go from Spurs to United because United aren't levels above them, I think is just frankly ridiculous. There's obviously loads of reasons why certain players will be wanted and they don't sign, but none of those reasons are because United are not levels above Spurs. Do you get what I'm saying? So like,
I think it's very clear. I think it's very clear that you guys have.
You can point to so many transfers in the past where players were wanted and it didn't happen, and there's like a multitude of reasons why that happens. But I'm telling you this for a fact, yeah. If United want a player at Spurs and the money's right, etc., that player will move to United.
Simple.
100%. Unless there's like extenuating circumstances, they love the club, this, that, and the other. Fine, but it will not be because of league position or anything like that. Not like I'm telling you that for a fact. And as a Spurs fan,
and where the two clubs are currently, and how they're performing, and what their goals are, all of these things factor into the selling club's position to say we have leverage to not sell our best players.
If Spurs end the season trophyless, if Spurs end the season trophyless and outside the top four, and United are in the top four, which is both pretty much very likely to happen. Let me tell you this: Kane and Son will want to leave, and United will definitely be one of the clubs that they'll be interested in moving to.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
I don't think Kane's ever leaving Spurs. He signed that deal.
No, I really don't. I don't think so either. No, he's
not so much money. But like,
he might not
for contracts.
Like I don't think anybody could buy Kane. No club in the world could buy Kane. Because of the price. And when it comes to economics, like the only clubs that were slightly larger status than Man United are broke in the Madrids and Barca. They're both broke. So United are all the big clubs. United are probably have the most money out of the ones with the mass status, and they can't. I don't think they could afford Kane because the price that Levy will want, and there's bare years left for his contract is there. But so Spurs having a strong selling position is not indicative of United not being levels above Spurs. It just means that Spurs have a strong selling position.
It's like saying Zaha, Zaha's not moving to Arsenal because Arsenal are levels above him. It's because financially and everything it doesn't work.
United just said, we can't get Grealish because of the price they put up. Does that mean United are not levels above Aston Villa?
No, but you could go out and get a Grealish. You could go out and get a Grealish if the price was right.
But
it's not going to ever be a block. But the fact of the matter is,
isn't Levy documenting saying that Kane is a £200 million player?
Say that again.
Isn't Levy on record saying Kane's a £200 million player?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that price isn't right, obviously, because only one person has ever gone for 200 million. That's fucking Neymar, and that's because PSG are out there fudging books. Nobody's paying 200 million for Harry Kane.
If you guys were levels above, I feel like you would have the pulling power to unsettle Kane enough to where that price would come down.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It's never worked.
Why not? Why not? Why not?
Because
I think you could get a 200 million price down to a 120. Bro, come on. If there's years left of his contract, nothing's gonna happen. If there's 2 years left, maybe. Not if he's got 4 or 5 years left. Spurs just say no. That's it.
It worked with Berbatov, innit? It worked with Berbatov.
That's old.
Bro, that
won't happen anymore.
So what our profile? So our profile hasn't played any part in the fact. Our increased profile hasn't played any part in the fact that only one player. Since we've been like in this sort of,
it has.
In this level, okay, and that's all I'm saying. That is what my argument is.
What?
No, your argument is
how can you tell me what I'm saying? How can you tell me what I'm saying?
Because you said it.
Because I heard you say it.
But I'm telling you precisely what I mean by it, and you're not taking it on.
Even if
that's
that is
ridiculous.
your argument, yeah. Even if that's your argument,
retract your statement then.
I'm not retracting shit. I said what I said.
Don't retract it. In the last 4 years, yeah, what players have you had of interest that Man United would want?
I've just gone through a whole list, my guy. Come on, man.
You just said Harry Kane and Son, right?
And Dyer as well, brother.
Dyer,
no. I said Man United would want.
Ericsson. Bro, these are players
United would want.
So is Man United is
university team?
So what we're saying is Man United's wants are different from the managers. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
It's
been
I think that's silly, man. I think that's silly because whoever's at the helm, whoever's at the helm takes on the mantle of Manchester United.
If that's true,
they're not mutually exclusive. They're not mutually exclusive.
Here, I will have Willian and Perisic and Mandzukic in our books. That was true.
Fam, the way how Man United have been run over the last, let's say 5 years, it's been very different. Woodward.
So Harry Maguire is a Manchester United transfer.
Yes.
He's not a manager transfer at all.
Yes.
So none of these guys are manager transfers.
No. That's what we didn't say. We said sometimes the players gone. Sometimes the players some of the players the manager has put forward, United have outright said no.
No.
So, for example, Mandzukic, they said no. Perisic, they said no. Willian, they said no. Dyer, they said no. Alderweireld, they said no. They tried to swap Martial out, they said no. They tried to sell Shaw. Mourinho wanted to sell Shaw, they said no. He wanted to bin Pogba, they said no.
No. That's what I'm saying.
So
like
we're not doing this, fam. We're not doing this. Not doing this.
Like the way how United is run, it's not the manager saying that whatever the manager says doesn't go at United, especially recently.
Because I think then the reason that is because we did that, and then what you end up with is a mismatch of players that are different managers' suitabilities, and then every manager comes in and wants a mass overhaul. Rather, they make like Donny van der Beek. Ollie didn't want him, but they signed him anyway because he was a good, talented player and he was available for good money. I think it's a smarter way to do business. Because then the manager comes in. These are the players we have. These are the players you're going to use. It's more of a continental style, but yeah. Rest in peace, Harry Kane. I guess.
United.
I mean, for me, that's all well and good, and I totally understand that. You guys' transfer committee is very much that the board dictates who gets in and who goes out. Cool. That's like a lot of football clubs. Spurs are very much like that. But that to me is a different conversation to what Manchester United want, Manchester United get.
Oh, I agree.
Those are two separate things.
I don't think there's any club in world football that can say what they want to get because the game's changed so much that teams have got so much money from TV deals. It's actually not anywhere near as easy to come and take a player out of a club unless they have a release clause. And that's why I personally think every single player should have a release clause. And the one that makes sense, not the Spanish ones on FM, like my release cost is 12 billion. Like, because right now, there's a lot of players that are just not going to leave their clubs, bruv. Like, Kane ain't going to leave Spurs. Madrid could come in for Kane. Doesn't matter.
Genuinely, I feel like Kane will eventually leave Spurs if things don't start going the right way. And I think he's already had that conversation with Levy and them. Like,
he's not got long left on our contract.
100%.
How long has he got left?
Like
he's got 3 years. He's got 3 years. That's a long.
3 years.
You'll be 30 by the end of that. That's a long time.
Yeah, and still
the
price I still want for him. I don't think nobody's gonna drop 120 million on a 30-year-old Harry Kane,
especially with his injury record.
Yeah, and that's how much he's worth to you.
It's Spurs gonna cash out on Harry Kane. I don't think they can even do it now anyway because this Corona economy is a bit peak. Nobody's got bread, so boy, that shit might have sold.
Yeah, he's in an awkward position. Like, I wouldn't sell him for more than like 120 if I was you lot.
You have to get value.
But who's going to buy 28-year-old injury prone? Yeah, I wouldn't. It's not necessarily good business.
Oh my god!
It'd be nice if he can win one though. He deserves it. His talent deserves it.
On the Sun topic, because I think that's even more interesting than Harry Kane.
Ooh.
Son for me seems like he would be like the perfect type of Manchester United signing because of obviously the commercial football and all of that stuff. But again, it's something I couldn't really see happening. I just don't think the dynamic between the clubs is in that weird position where when we were struggling to make top four and when the players' sort of mindset was a little bit different, like the Berbers, like Modric's, even before then the Carrick, it's like they saw Spurs as more of a transitional club. I don't really feel like we're a stepping stone in the same way that we were before. Do you get what I mean? And that's not just me. That's not just me, exactly. So that's what I mean by the profile of the clubs aren't in a position where I feel like we need to worry about that as much as we did before. If the odd player leaves, the odd player leaves.
I'll only say you need to worry if your player's got 2 years left on his deal. Then you need to worry. But outside that, you're fine. I don't see some going as well, unless he's got like 2 years left on his deal or 1 year either.
For me, it's within 18 months. Within 18 months is where I start getting itchy feet. 2 years, we usually re-up guys' contracts like every year and a half.
Itchy feet is because they could just say no. Like if they don't sign a contract, they could just delay it. Then you're fucked because obviously nobody goes in the transfer window. Then next summer,
absolutely,
there's 1 year left, and he has to sign his deal. So now I have to make a decision. So that's why 2 years. Once he gets to 2 years, you're finished. Like you just gotta hope that my man wants to stay at your club.
That comes in 3 months as well.
Well, for who? Son.
So his contract runs out June 2023.
Oh yeah, you man are
Oh right. Shit.
You man,
they were talking about Son extensions, bro.
Early in the season when you lot were like top, there was a lot of Son signing a new contract talk. I haven't heard much of it recently.
Yeah.
Again, he's another player that
you guys should just cash out, man. Just cash out.
He's made that jump, and when you made that jump,
why would we cash out?
He might do, but a lot of the time,
I think
cash out because you guys need a massive rebuild. Massive.
There were noises
in cash out.
So why, if you need a massive rebuild, why would you? Why if you need a massive rebuild? Why would you
on the massive rebuild front, right? Like we need new centre backs, and I would say a right midfielder.
Yeah,
that'd be it. In terms of the components of the rebuild that are must have now, that's not massive, man. That's 3 players. That's 3 players.
I think you're going to spend that money though without selling players.
I think you're underestimating finding them.
I'm not underestimating it. What I'm saying to you is
what goal?
Now almost he jumps a couple man, then they ate him at the end. But God, what were you saying, sir?
Yeah. No, I'm saying 3-player rebuild and a system that actually functions like a footballing team. To me, isn't a massive rebuild, isn't it? We've seen Spurs sides.
That's it, man.
Yeah, of course they do, but that could be said with anybody. If one of the 3 signings, and that's usually our ratio, one of the 3 signings banks. If that happens, we can make concessions. You get what I mean? Because what I'm saying is, go on.
Do you guys think you're going to spend that money without selling players?
No, but we got players to sell.
I mean, our track record says that we're willing to spend a little bit of money, even if those sales don't get made in the abundance that we would hope they would. So yeah, I do think we get some of those pieces without having to chip out too many pieces.
Basically, yeah.
I think. Do you know what? I think you guys are lucky. I think you guys are lucky because of COVID. I said, without no COVID, I think teams would have at least come in for Son.
Maybe
like, a big team would have probably come in for Son. So
I don't know. Because outside the Prem, nobody's got P. Nobody's got, even without COVID, outside the Prem, nobody's got P like that. To take Son, you have to have mad P. That's Son's a £100 million player, probably, fam. Like, and nobody's got that type of P.
150 million to anyone in the Prem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, rest in peace. Rest in peace, Mourinho, man.
Yeah. Daddy's done.
So that's the first time I vocally said that as well. So hot take. So says, get him out, man.
Yeah,
he puts me up, man. I can't deal with it, bro.
Get that bum out of him, man. Because the thing is, though, like I totally agree with what Sai's saying. There's only a couple more players that we need, and we have a lot of pieces, which I think with the right system and the right coaches.
Seb was saying Jose was right, you know. Now look at him, Seb.
Get him out, man. He's a dinosaur.
You said that, Seb. You said it. Now look at him.
Hey, listen, yeah. Shall I tell you why you're in a difficult position, yeah? Because you know when you say, "Oh, all we need is a couple of pieces," yeah, that United have been in that situation. But what happens is you get those couple pieces in, the pieces that are okay age, and then you need more pieces because they've just aged. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
100%.
People always forget about the aging aspect of it. That's what's been catching United out. Is that we've always
the pieces I'm highlighting are guys like Kane, Son,
fair enough, yeah,
Ndombele, Højbjerg, Reguilon,
Højbjerg's
and
shit, bro.
Aurier.
Man.
He's had a good season up until now. So he's had a good season.
I don't know. He's all right.
What man just out there saying Højbjerg's rubbish? What about Fred? What's that?
Fred's rubbish too.
Yeah, Fred is rubbish. Yeah, Fred is rubbish. What do you think this is? I think we're going to protect Fred.
The thing that people don't understand with Højbjerg, right? The thing people don't understand with Højbjerg is that for Tottenham, he might not be a stellar player, but he's the kind of player that we've needed in that position. So
he does a job. But do you know what kills me? Sorry, just to interject.
So everyone else, go for it.
Yeah. What kills me, is the same players, who will use their mouth to big up your black. Oh, Kane is sick, Son is sick. When you say another player is not good, what do you mean he's not? You're just saying that because he plays for Spurs. You're just saying that because he plays for Spurs, bro. He ain't good, bro. It's got nothing to do with the fact that he plays for Spurs. You don't rate him. Obviously, fans are always going to see their players in a bit of a brighter light because you watch them every game, and every game you're trying to find something to believe in. I
don't know how you can watch Højbjerg every game and not come to the conclusion that he's
well documented. I'm well documented in saying that he's not the guy. I've been well documented on the pod to say that he's not the guy. But in terms of players to build around and to have in and amongst the first 11, I would include Højbjerg in there because law of averages.
Yeah, you're right, Sasha.
He's been good.
I disagree,
more than
I hate that he's disgusting. I hate players that go around kick man shins and we point.
I knew he was going to say that. This hates anybody that can't do a step up.
Yeah, basically.
Bro, these shit guys, bro.
Yeah, you know. Oh shit! All right, look. Also, what Barca giving a debut to that Mariba kid? Yeah, I'm watching that. Say less.
Right, man, I saw watching La Liga 2021. You fell off.
Fucking hell.
Messi, boy, you gotta savor these last few days, man.
But yeah, I appreciate you, man. Anyway, man, you managed to distract me from that horrid performance. I love that.
That's good discussion still. That's good discussion.
Yeah, man, love this. Where you been on courtside, my bro, man?
Hey, boy, I've retired from basketball. Hey, Westbrook.
This guy's now on NFL.
Yeah?
He retired from football, retired from basketball, now on NFL.
With Russ's knees. He retired with Russ's knees. It's all good, though.
I'm down bad, man. I don't even watch it. Hey, that league is finished, bro. I'm hearing people rate Rudy Gobert and that. I can't watch that sport no more, bro. I'll be back when there's a playoffs.
All right, Spurs lads, nice one.
All right, bless up.
We hope you enjoyed. We hope you enjoyed.
Oh yeah, we did, bro.
You know what? I didn't hear not one bow. There wasn't one bow the whole game. I love it. See, distraction tactics.
Yeah, we were too busy.
Screen conversation.
Yeah, see, you man, let this side full of spin your shit, bro. Get me. In a bit.
Yeah, nice calm, man. It's calm. I wasn't surprised.
I think
good one, lads.
The overarching point got proven as well that Man United are never gonna get this. Never gonna get this.
I don't mind not getting Harry Kane. I think if we won him, we should have probably gotten him a couple of years ago, man. Get like a good solid 7 years out of him or so. So I think you should stay there, try and win a league title with Spurs.
He'd have won you guys a league.
Him and Son, though, I would drag out our contracts though. I can't lie. I wouldn't hold it against.
You try and do what?
If you try to do what? Their contracts, they'll go to leave it. Like we're not going to sign a new contract unless we see this, and this.
Do you think they do it? Do you think he has that power?
I think Son might be doing it to an extent now. I don't see Kane doing it. I'm saying I kind of hope he does though.
Like, what's the kind of the feedback on Kane? Does he genuinely love the club kind of thing?
He does, but
Or
you
is he
see
just
him in
like,
some
what?
games. You do see him in some games. You probably would have seen it tonight. Like he does just look fed up. It's weird though because I feel like the players for some reason are still playing for Jose. It's really crazy, but
it's nasty, really, man. Playing for Jose is nasty, man. It's no point, man. Asking certain men who are genuine attackers to be doing jobs as basically fullbacks, asking players who are clearly not technically good enough to play in roles that they're not comfortable with. And he's asking our best player to change his role.
Jose ball, bro. This is Jose ball, man.
I'm done, man. I need this done out of my club, man. I need this done.
This is Jose ball, man. This is Jose ball, man. His best days are far back. His best days are far behind. him, man.
And the thing is, Levy ain't letting him go either, man. He loves Levy's his little fucking fanboy, man. He needs to get this done out of this club, man.
I don't know.
He ain't going nowhere.
If he doesn't win anything, he doesn't get top 4. I think he's got to be gone. No, Levy.
He's got to
be. So,
man.
What? Tops thoughts on Graham Potter?
Yeah, it's a sticky one, Steve.
Bring me Potter.
I just want someone progressive, man. Someone who's going
to. You want Poch back, yeah?
Listen.
Come back. I
just want someone who's going to coach my team, man. Someone who's going to improve my players as players, and also give them a system which they can properly rely on. Not just go out there and vibes. It's just vibes, man.
Is your ideal manager the same as mine, Tops?
Well, there's 2 in my mind, but like everyone keeps saying that one of those is not feasible. But I think he is, to be honest with you. So
who's the second one?
Who is this?
Personally, I would like to see Ten Hag. But if I'm pushing the boat, I would love to get Nagelsmann. But everyone's like, Nagelsmann's too good for us. He would never leave Leipzig, blah, 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 to come Spurs.
Oh, no, he would. He's very viable. But my dream would be probably Brendan. It would have to be Brendan.
That's not a bad shout. Would he leave Leicester for Spurs?
That's the thing. Like, would he? Like,
if they finish out top 4, even though I don't think they will, if they did finish out top 4, then definitely. I think we as a club, even though we're not showing it, we do show more ambition than Leicester. But
do you think so? I don't know. They're pretty ambitious, man.
It's not by much.
The thing is,
it's not by much.
The thing is, like, with Spurs, man, like, I know people talk about Tottenham being XYZ, haven't won XYZ. I promise you, the pieces are there for the club to progress on a bigger scale. The stadium, the use of this new training ground, the academy, the fact that we are finally spending money on players, and we know that the infrastructure is there for us to build. We just are, I personally believe with Jose, it was always a stopgap. And that's why I feel it's so stupid for him to let a manager like Pochettino go, knowing that he was going to fill this gap with someone who is literally a stopgap manager. This Don should have been gone ages ago, but now we're stuck with him at least to the end of the season. Like, I personally don't see this Don lasting after that, and I don't think, based on the way we're playing and how he's got this team at the moment, I don't see us getting top 4. I don't. How do we break that top 4 at the moment? Like, you can't even run me a small Carabao Cup. I won't even give a shit, man. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Like,
I would respect it though. If he won the Europa League, I would respect it. I can't lie.
Yeah, all right. If he won the Europa League, but bro, he's ruining prime Kane years. He's ruining prime Son years. He tried to run Ndombele out of the ends. Like, come on, man. What's going on here? Like, I need this Don gone, man. He needs to go, bro. Fuck this, man. He needs to go.
I hear that pain, man. But I can relate, man. He brings everything around him crashing down, man.
No, brother, tonight I've not even watched. Like, I'm in the car. Like, I've been working all day, and I seen the team. When I saw the team, I thought, all right. And then the minute we went 1-0 down, bruv, that's me done. I don't need to see what happens because it happens every single week. And I've been saying it every week. Why is it every week we have to concede stupid individual errors? I don't even know. It's not even worth me giving my energy to you, bro. Fuck.
You've given enough energy there. I've just felt the spirit bomb come at my.
Oh, it's pissed me off, man. Like, you just get this done out.
Proud and passionate, boy.
Get this done out of him, man. Like, I just want to see my team play football again.
Passionate,
and that's what I think. Like with Pochettino, right? I know at the end of it, his days were done. Yeah, by the end of it. But I could see a system. I could see a improvement in my players. I could see us trying to do something. It's just vibes with Jose. And people laugh at Dele Alli throwing the bottle on the floor, saying, it's just kicking it long and all that. Bruv, it really is poor. It really is poor with Jose, man. It's not good watching, bro. It's not good watching.
Yeah, you can only really justify it when the results are coming in, and then when the results aren't coming in, you then feel sickened at yourself for having ever supported it. I never did, personally speaking. I like to enjoy football, and ideally, you want to enjoy your team at the bare minimum, not having to go watch other teams to enjoy football. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Like, all due respect, I could get it being worth it for you lot. Obviously, you don't have that success, and like getting that success kind of legitimizes you on a level which you haven't been on. But for us, it wasn't ever really worth it. And you don't go with a Van Gaal and then replace him with a Jose Mourinho. That shows no planning. That just shows that. Yeah, man. And then you were just doing anything basically.
Because like now, I'm looking at Jose like, and I'm just thinking like, and I genuinely do mean this. Like, how is he looking, leaving in the face and being like, yeah, everything's calm. Everything's not, bro.
You think he's? I don't think he's saying. I don't think he's saying everything is calm. Though I think he's blaming the players. That's what he does. He starts blaming the players. It's the players' fault that we're in this situation, not my fault. That's his thing.
No, there is a conversation to be had as well. There is a conversation to be had, like, where do a lot of our mistakes come from how our players just aren't familiar with how we're set up, or just how we're set up in general. Like, I do think that is the case to an extent, but there have been quite a lot of mistakes recently. You're just thinking that how like Højbjerg today, or
Lloris,
Højbjerg against Chelsea, like what, like a lot of the mistakes can't be legislated for. So I hear him, but Jose Mourinho. Yeah, and that as well. But like he, at the end of the day, he doesn't know how to alleviate pressure through his system or through his way of playing. Like,
it's not sustainable. Like,
it's the equivalent of telling someone facing Khabib Nurmagomedov in the octagons, but like, oh, by the way, before you go in there, just watch out for that double leg. And don't you fuck it up. Oh shit. Oh shit. You just I told you not to do that. But it's just
because he's not giving them the tools. He's trying to put them into a system, but then the tools that basically he's trying to enforce on them or ask them to to sort of show what he wants them to do, they're not able to do it. Like, I actually don't think the team is motivated to play for him now. And it's crazy because he's only been in the club now, since October 2019? Like, I'm looking at him and I'm not seeing players that are motivated to play the way he wants them to play anymore. That's a problem.
Strange.
To me.
They look like, to me, they're actually trying, maybe not for him or for the Souths, but they're actually, you see an increase in the intensity in some of our second half performances recently, and it is aimless energy, especially against Brighton. Like, we were just pressing for nothing, but
I'm not really sure what he's trying to do anymore. I remember when I was reading a thing about his philosophy, and it was like the team that makes the least mistakes win. So he wants his team to have as little of the ball as possible and capitalize on the opponent's mistakes. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, you're taking all the fun out of the beautiful game, man. What have we got left?
It's not sustainable, man, either. It's not sustainable.
It was annoying because we saw... Yeah, I was just about to say, we did see a lot of what I thought was progression over Project Restart, and then the first 10 games of this season. And it was just after that crazy West Ham game, he just downed all tools. Just that one game. It's a shame.
Agreed, man. All right, Tops. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you tomorrow. Talk to you tomorrow. Yeah, man.
Much love.